Oh, they got me in the Benz. The Benz. Got me in a Sprinter today. This big bad boy. Let me tell y'all how they got me in this Sprinter, and there is no aux capability. I've been just listening to the radio. It's just friggin' ridiculous. I'm in a Sprinter, and there's no aux. Like this is the most standard. I didn't even know new vehicles even came like standard. I thought aux capabilities was a standard thing now. Like you can get that in the base model, but I guess not. I'm about to say, shoot, hump day. I ain't gonna get into no hump day shenanigans, man. I love watching y'all do that, man. I do that in the groups and stuff like that, man. Those be funny. Those be funny. They get me through the day. I get my hearty heart on. But anyway, I don't even got no music, no background. You know, I usually have like the songs playing in the background and stuff, but whatever. Maybe I'll be able to gather my thoughts a little bit better. I want to talk about I want to piggyback again off of the I'm gonna kind of touch on the emotional man again. For those that missed that, I did a video. It was like a 30-minute video. I don't know, probably about a top of the month, but unfortunately I guess I accidentally erased it off of YouTube, and like it's gone forever now. So you know, whoever saw it, you got the point of it. You know, I just touched on how the black community and just people in general don't they have a real men handling their emotions as like, you know, it's a lack of significance with that, you know. And you know, men are bred to be hardened, and you know, it becomes a problem when, you know, they try to, you know, open up to people and things like that, and people are expecting men to just be this tough thing. And but then on the flip side of things, you know, every woman that I know, they always say they want their man to be emotional and things like that. And you know, if a man opens up and you shut it down, you know, that's, you make him feel like he's weak, or you make him feel like he's less than a man because, you know, he's coming to you about something that's concerning him. You know, that's a big problem. But you know, so I mean, I obviously got more in depth with it, but you know, I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I unfortunately I erased the video on accident. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you didn't. It is what it is. But I want to touch on. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and it was awesome. You know, we were just catching up real quick. I made a joke or two, and shout outs to her and everything like that. Just giving me a little bit of thoughts and an idea on this video. As an emotional man myself, you have to know how to navigate through your emotions. You have to understand that not everybody is ready for that type of thing, you know. So you have to be prepared for people to shut you down, for people to kind of be scared off by it. And with her particular situation, obviously I'm not gonna put her name out there or anything like that. She told me that she was speaking with an individual, you know, and 3 days in, that individual is like hitting her up, like, you know, trying to see where things goes, and you know, complaining about how lonely they are, and you know, basically giving her his life story, and they've never even met. And you know, she was explaining to me how, like, you know, it just kind of like threw her back. You know, she was just kind of like, yo, I asked for a man that's able to express their emotions, but I didn't want that. That was just too much. So when she was explaining more in depth with it, you know, I came to the realization that, okay, well, this gentleman, and not once did I say there's anything wrong with him being emotional, but it's just, you know, you have to be able to, well, the way that he was emotional, like I said, he came off really strong. They never even met. And you know, he seemed like he wants already, you know, he's just complaining about how lonely he is and things like that. And she didn't, and you know, she was busy and doing what she's doing, her day-to-days, and he was getting, you know, upset that she wasn't answering him back quickly enough. So you know, it turned into him writing her a 12-page message in the text. And we all know how that goes. That's a lot of scrolling. That's a lot of up and down. Like, dang. You know, she said she did it like 3 times, and she still didn't get to the end. So that's just, it's humorous, but, you know, but we really gotta, here's the thing. People gotta learn how to cope with whatever they're going through. They have to be able to, like I said, I don't even like really using the word cope. I know I've said it before, but I like saying working through it, because you got to be able to live. Here's whatever happened to you in your past, you got to address it, you got to work through it, and you got to learn how to live with it, because it's not going to go away unless you get somebody to hypnotize your behind and you erase half of your memory or whatever. It's never going to go away. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of your book, your life book. It's a chapter, it's a section, it's a paragraph in your book. So you can't let something like that always burden you down or destroy you character-wise, because it's something you're going to have to always live with. So if it's something that you're always going to have to live with, how can you possibly let it continue to affect you deep into your adult life? Affect you in a negative way, I should say. Affect you in a negative way deep into your adult life. You have to be able to work through these things. You have to be able to cope with them. You have to be able to live with them. And you have to be able to, accept that happened. And, it's a part of who you are now. It makes up who you are. It's a part of your DNA, part of your makeup. And keep it moving. When I heard about this gentleman and I heard some of the things that he was saying, I immediately thought, like, okay, well, he's obviously dealt with some type of social trauma or things along those lines in the past, or he's dealt with a relationship that's broken him. I don't know this man from Adam. She didn't give me no names or anything like that. I don't know. Just from listening to what I've heard, I can only go off of the information that I'm given. I'm only as good as the information that I'm given. So listening to that, I'm saying, and she was, stating that, and she stated that, she had prayed, and, she prays for a man that can show affection, be emotional and things like that, but that was just too much. And, and I had to explain to her, like, well, that's different, because he's been through some type of social trauma that makes him get that way. And because of that, he's looking for a distraction. That's why when he was going off and saying that, I'm so lonely, I'm so this, I'm so that, and he's just itching to be in somebody's presence, excuse me. He needs conversation. He needs to feel somebody's presence, to feel alive, to feel wanted, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I had to explain to her, like, yo, that's no good, because he's unfortunately, he's not necessarily, he is looking for somebody to obviously be attached to, but it's not necessarily a healthy type of attachment he's looking for. He's looking for a distraction. Now, people, everybody is at different points in their lives. There's nothing wrong with a little distraction to help you move along in life, to help you grow into things like that, But when you chase distractions in the manner that this gentleman has, when you sit back and you act like you don't love yourself enough to be alone with yourself, you can't sit back and just, like, there's people, I really don't want to word this wrong, because I want nobody to feel no way. There's nothing wrong with being lonely. I'm not saying that. People get lonely. Everybody gets lonely. When you're single for a while, when you just got out of a relationship, when you ain't been in a relationship, whatever, you get lonely. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is, this gentleman, not only did he express how lonely he was and some of the things that he's been through in his life, he proceeded to continuously text her and complain how she's not answering him and how he just wants somebody to talk to, and he's breaking down. Like, he's breaking down. That's the key thing right there. That's the key behavior. And I was just like, hold on now. Like, he has some social issue. He has some social and emotional issues, and that's something that he has to deal with. And because of that, he scared her away, so to speak. There's the emotional man. I'd have to come up with a name. I'd have to come back later. Maybe I want to call it the emotionally broken man. Maybe I want to say that. Because there's the emotional man, how I explained to you. That's the man that's in tune with his emotions. That's the man that can, that can express how he feels, that understands that everybody is not going to be on the same page with him and stuff like that. And he'll keep it moving, That's an emotional man, and there's nothing wrong with that. When I say the emotional man, I mean a king that can express what's going on in his life, that can pour out his heart, but then at the same time knows when he should and shouldn't. Figures out who he should do that with and who he shouldn't with. Because you cannot do that with everybody. An emotionally broken man is a man that, I'm going to just use this gentleman as an example. He's to the point where he can't even love himself. He can't even sit back and just, okay, if a person doesn't answer your text within 2 minutes, the first thing shouldn't be to think that, oh my gosh, they're ignoring me. That shouldn't be your first thought. The first thought should be, they're grown. It's the middle of the day. They're working. Or, that's not my lady. That's not my man. They're not obligated to hit me back in a certain number of time, in a certain time frame. So, let it be. They will hit me up at their earliest convenience. That's it. Nothing else. So, when she told me about that, I gave her, I didn't really give her advice. She already knew what she was going to do. We just had a little discussion about it and a little chuckle about it. But I just want to say, to the people out there that are emotionally broken, finding a distraction, yearning for a distraction, I should say, fiending for a distraction. You act like you about to die if somebody don't give you some attention, Fiending for a distraction is not the way to go. It's not, or you're gonna come off as abrasive. You're gonna come off as annoying, and people don't like that. I can't necessarily say what a person can do when they're broken emotionally, because it depends on the situation and depends on the circumstances that led them to that point. But I will say that, my first heartbreak, I was pretty messed up, and I dealt with that in a not so great manner. But it just, I think you just have to go through the motions and go and just make the mistakes and learn from them. It's tough, man. It's tough to even speak on, because, like I said, I can't necessarily say what this gentleman is going through. I can just go off of what was said to me. So, I'll probably have to touch on this a little bit later. But I do want to say again, the emotionally broken man is a thing, and it's a responsibility for not only that person to understand what it is that got them to that point, and to try and figure out how it is they're going to get past that, how it is they're going to grow from that, how it is they're going to take that hurt and turn it into some strength, and lift them up. It's not only that person's responsibility, it's also other people's responsibility to understand that, hey, if you see that this person is this way and you're not willing to deal with that, you need to be upfront and very honest. And I know that may seem like a red flag to those that are like, well, if a person's broken emotionally, you shouldn't really go super hard on them. I'm not saying to go super hard, but I'm saying, but just because I'm saying not to go super hard, that doesn't mean that you hold your tongue. No, you still be honest with people, because at the end of the day, people need to hear these things, because that how else would an artist know that he needs to? No, excuse me, let me change that, because art is. I'm trying to think of a better example. if somebody took apart something and they're trying to put it back together, and you obviously see that they're about to put it back together wrong, but you don't say anything because you don't want to hurt their feelings, because you critiquing what I'm doing, I got this and this and that. No, you're doing it wrong, or you're putting it back on wrong. Like, you need to put it back on right. When a person is going through something, and you see that they're going through something, everybody has kind of a responsibility to just like, yo, my dude, like, me and you ain't close, or my girl, me and you ain't even on that type of level, nothing like that, but yo, like, that's not gangster. And I'm not gonna lie, I act like I do that all the time. I don't. Sometimes I just stop talking to people because I'm like, literally, I'm 29. You came into my life like a week ago, and you already crying about something that I didn't even mean, or something like that. Like, no, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. No. But we all have that responsibility to help each other out, man. We're living in a world, where people are just becoming more and more broken each and every day, man. And they don't know how to help themselves and how to fix themselves, And I just think it's so much that, most of us need to do in the community, to just know how to talk to people. And there's nothing wrong with talking to people and giving advice and such, but the emotionally broken man, hell, and woman, are two things that need to be looked out for. And just to close out, I had some closing remarks. You gotta, when you're praying, those that are faithful and whatnot, when you're praying for that wife or that girl or that man or that husband, whatever, you better be as specific as you possibly can, because you ask for an emotional man, somebody that shows affection and stuff like that, you don't be specific, you may get an emotionally broken man. And that's what you ask for. And my video is about to cut off because I talk too much.